BookTube is full of some real weirdos. Happy Friday! Welcome back to Drinking by My Shelf. My name is Emma and today I am playing the BookTube word association game. This was a concept created by Jess from Jess Has Books, who is fantastic, by the way. I will link to their channel below. I had only quite recently discovered them and got completely obsessed and thought they were fantastic. And then they have not uploaded a new video in like a month since I subscribed. I'm like, Jess, I'm waiting. Anyway, no pressure, Jess. Jess is fantastic, and this word association game was their idea. So I will link to their version of this video because I got to be involved in that. I gave one of the prompts for the word association. Basically, how it works is you get a chain of words in like a word association game, each one given by a different booktuber. I think Jess did way more. I decided to cut it off at 5 because I'm tired and I didn't want to read more than 5 books in a row without taking a serious break to get some sleep and watch Married at First Sight. And then, yeah, you come up with prompts for each of those words. My original plan was to film this bit as an introduction first, choose the books, and then go on and read them. But that just didn't happen. I've been in a not super filming mood recently, and so I started just reading the books, and then I finished all 5, and I hadn't filmed an intro. So we're now retrospectively is the word I was aiming for, filming an introduction to a vlog that I'm about to play you of me playing word associations. But first, let me talk you through the word associations that I received from booktubers and how I interpreted that to fit my books. So just to kick things off, I started with a random word generator. I can't remember which ones I used. I just typed random word generator into Google, and the first word that this generator generated me was the word formula. So I didn't associate that with a book, I just used that as like a starting point. And then of course, the first person that I asked to give me a word prompt had to be Jess, because this was their idea. So I gave them the word formula and they replied straight away, 1. You can see the connection there. With the word 1, I decided to make them all apply to books that were already on my TBR so that I didn't end up like buying a ton new books. And I had this proof here of Hostage by Clare Mackintosh, which is set all in one plane ride. It's a plane ride from London to Sydney. It's like the world's first non-stop flight from London to City, and it is hijacked. So if you're at all scared of flying, I wouldn't read this one. I was about to start telling you what I thought of it, but I'm not going to do that because you're about to watch the vlog and then I'll do a wrap up at the end. So this was the word 1. Okay, from there I went to Tasmin from Tea Books at Tasmin, and I said to her, what is the first word you think of when I say the word 1? And she didn't reply. So then I messaged her again and I said, bitch, what is the first word that you think of when I say 1? And to that she said true, as in one true love, or one true pairing, OTP. You know, loads of ways to interpret that. So for true, I picked up this book, The Dead Girls by Jorge Ibarguengoitia, because this is based on a true story. It's based on the true story of some sisters who were running a brothel and murdering the women that worked there. So a, you know, particularly grim story. This is a fictionalized version. It's like different characters, different names and everything, but that is what it's based on. So true, The Dead Girls. From there, I asked Megan from Meg with Books, what is the first word that you think of when I say true? And she said false. Again, so far, all these connections are making sense. It's going to go off piece in a minute. I will say that I didn't do this prompt very well. So for false, I picked up the book Little Sons by Zakes. So this was a book that I had previously started reading and then I'd put it down temporarily because I had other things to read. So I'd only read like this much probably, but what I'd got from the very beginning that I'd read is that the name of the book, Little Sons, comes from the fact that our main character, his name is Malangana, which means little sons, and that it's a love story. It's set like 20 years apart, so we're partly in the 1880s and partly in like 1903, when Malangana is searching for the woman that he loves, who he hasn't seen for 20 years. And in the flashback bits, we see them meet, and we see her tell him that he is false, that he is wrong in his belief that there are many suns and that his name is Little Suns because he's named after the little suns. Every day there's a new sun, sometimes they're big, sometimes they're little. And she says, no, that's not true, there's just one sun and it goes around. So she tells him that's false, and he's like, no, you are wrong, you stupid woman. But he's like, then he falls in love with her. So that's why I picked this for false. You will then see what happened in the vlog. I will say, I think I failed on this one. This doesn't really fit false. If anything, this should have been true because it is also based on true events. But you know what? That's what I did. And that was a thing that happened in the book. Okay, here's where my friends got a little weird because BookTube is full of total weirdos. I said to Emma from Emma Tobias, what is the first word that you think of when I say false? And she said gone. And to this day I don't know why. My instinct is that, like, it does kind of make sense, like, if you are false, I'm gone, you know, like, don't be false to me and then I'm gone. That's maybe what it means. I did ask her. She also didn't seem to know the answer. Let me see what this message said. Yeah, I said, I must know, how did you get to gone from false? And she said, sometimes that's just what happens. So, you know, who knows what's going on in her brain. But for the word gone, I selected this book, Can You See Me Now by Trisha Sakhlecha, because I thought that fit pretty well. The title, Can You See Me Now? No, because I've gone. I thought it was like what a magician would say, you know, like, can you see me now? And then they would be gone. I don't actually know why it's called Can You See Me Now. Now that I think about it, having read it, I don't know why it's called that exactly. Finally, I went to Leanne from Literary Diversions and I said, what's the first word that you think of when I say gone? And she said chance, which honestly was like the most stumped I've been. I don't know what those two words have in common. I did eventually give up and ask her as well, and she said that it's like, you had your chance and now I'm gone. Chance gone, gone chance, that's the connection. So okay, fair enough, but my brain didn't go there. She also did say, I hope that gives you something truly awful to read. So she was the only one who gave like a special request or wish for the reading experience, so I decided to honour it. I picked up the book Pine by Francine Toon because I bought this one, I took a chance on it. I went into a bookshop quite a while ago, this was like Halloween last year, and the bookseller came over, and before I'd even said like what I was actually looking for, he just gave me this book and was like, you should read this. I thought it was really good. So I was like, okay, I will take a chance on it. Chance. I also thought it would fit Leanne's request because ever since I bought it, I had heard nothing but terrible reviews. My sister saw that I had it on my shelf and was like, oh god, don't read that book. And I just saw like multiple people saying that they weren't into it. So I figured this is what I was taking a chance on, and hopefully it would make Leanne happy because I would have a miserable time reading it and being bored / confused. So that's 5 books for the word association challenge. I have now read them all, so let's watch the vlog of me reading them. Okay, I am kicking off this game on an actually like momentous day. So today I am going into my office for the first time since March 2020, since they sent us home for a trial day, 1 day of working from home, and then we never went back in. And today I'm going back into the office and I am nervous. Like, I don't even remember how the kettle works. We don't have kettles, we have those little boiling water taps. See, I didn't remember that. And secondly, I woke up this morning to find out that vaccines are now open to my age group, so I've booked my vaccine, I've booked both of them, and I'm having it next week. Honestly, like, life feels so much more positive. So, on that very exciting start, I'm going to kick off with this one, for the word one. This is Hostage by Clare Mackintosh, and I have high hopes. Oh my god, going into the office was exhausting. Exhausting. 2 hours commute. I used to do that every day. I feel like literally drained of every bit of energy that I have. Oh my good god, what is going on? Oh, hit record and started yawning straight away. And like 2/3 of the way through, it is very high stakes, it's very page turning and fun, it is very over dramatic, but I'm not complaining. I really want to read the whole thing in 1 day because then it'd be like double the one flight, set all in 1 day, read it all in 1 day. But I'm gonna be tired. Like, I'm going through it quickly, but this is still quite a chunk of book left. I'm gonna move into bed, relocate upstairs, and then just keep reading. Okay, so I'm kind of devastated. My camera broke. Literally right after I filmed that last clip saying that I was gonna go upstairs and keep reading, I was carrying all my stuff and kind of balancing it weirdly to get up the stairs, and I dropped my camera and it fell really hard, and instantly I was like, that's not good, and I won't turn on. Honestly, I can't even talk about it. I'm so upset. It was like a split second of it falling, and then I can't take it back, and now it's broken, and I went into a complete stress spiral. I did not read any more of the book. I was like, I literally can't cope with this right now, so I just like climbed into bed and shut my eyes and turned the light off and just went to sleep at like whatever time it was. Like, I can't believe it. So we are pushing that into denial corner until I can figure out how bloody much it's going to cost to repair it. In the meantime, I will continue this vlog on my phone. I apologise that it's not going to be as good quality. It's really rubbish. Oh my good god, there's so many things going on at once in this book. Okay, finished. That was exciting. It was a fun book. I did think it was a little over the top. Like, I can see it being a movie. I didn't mind the over the topness, to be honest. Like, it was very fun. It was very page turning. Definitely not one to read if you're scared of flying at all. Absolutely terrifying. Luckily, I'm not scared of flying. I'm scared of most things. I'm scared of almost everything in life, but for some reason I'm not scared of flying, so this one was okay. I'm gonna go to bed now. I've got to get up early and pack tomorrow because I'm going down to the Isle of Wight. And I need to remember what's the next book that I'm reading. I should check my list. So this one was for the word one. What was the next word? True? Was it one true? It was true. The next word is true. So I'm still thinking that I'm going to read The Dead Girls because it is based on a true story. So that's why I will start on the train tomorrow. Hello. Good night. I have a working camera. I'm back. I mean, it was incredibly expensive. I can't even think about it, but I am thrilled to have a working camera again. This book is so readable. I'm nearly finished. I was reading it the whole way down. I'm at my parents' house. I was reading it the whole way on the train. It's very, very readable, and it's like, it's very foreboding. Like, nothing major has actually happened now, and it's all told as if it's a police report, which I know for some people they don't like that kind of style because you're very detached from the actual characters and their emotions. And it's funny because I'm such a character-based reader, like character-driven reader rather than a plot-driven reader, but I often really like books that are written in this way. I don't know why. There's something very like chilling about them, and it kind of gives you space to do all of the work imagining the characters' motivations and everything yourself. I'm just into it. So yeah, nothing's really happened yet, but the whole way through we know the terrible things that are going to happen. It's based on a true story, which is why I picked it for the word true, and it's also written as if it was true. Double whammy. Got multiple friends. I think they maybe just want my apple, not my company. I can't see my eyes under this hat. Whenever I'm down here, I'm like, damn, I need to move to the countryside tonight. Hippo is so much happier. She's just like constantly running around. In London, she's such a scared, sad little puppy. I'm sorry we brought you to London, Hippo. It was the wrong place for you. I finished another book. I really liked this. I thought it was really interesting and really weird. I'd heard this described as like a dark comedy. I wouldn't say it was a comedy. It's not like funny, but it is a sort of like very, very slightly darkly comedic tone that it takes while talking about pretty horrific things. So this one's based on a true story about two sisters who owned a brothel and eventually were arrested for the murders of multiple women who were found buried in the grounds. And this like took that as inspiration. It does tell a different story, but yeah, it's dark. It's not pleasant stuff. So I think for most of the way through I was giving this like a 4 in my head. And then by the end, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it, but I think it's what I'm going to need to like think about and mull over before I rate. So next I'm moving on to Megan's word, which was false. And for that I'm going to read Little Sons, and I will tell you more about that in a second. For now, it's time for me to go and have food and wine. Okay, so I have a decision to make. I had actually started Little Suns a little while ago, that's how far through I was, and I got sidetracked by various video projects. So it's now been a few weeks, and I can't exactly remember what was happening, but it was definitely a book where I had to concentrate quite hard. So should I go back to the beginning and start again? Probably. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay, so I've got to the bit of why I picked this for the word false. It's a bit of a tenuous link for my word associations to false, but that's where it came from. After quite a few glasses of rosé over lunch, it is quite difficult to keep track of all the different characters in this book. And like the many different chiefs and the many different kingdoms. There is a little sun, and I'm reading Little Suns. Have I called the sun a little bit? It's possible. We just watched the Friends reunion and it honestly made my heart so happy. So now I'm going to snuggle in bed and keep reading this book. I'm like halfway through. I'm enjoying it, I really am, but it is hard work. Like I said earlier, there's just like a lot of names to keep track of, and it's about a totally different culture and a different time. So I do have to focus, and I do have to like read pages over again sometimes, but I am enjoying it. It's basically about this guy searching for a love that he lost 20 years ago. He doesn't even know her name. So it's, you know, I like it. It's sweet. I'll tell you more about it when I've read some more. I really can't articulate why I'm enjoying this book compared to so many other similar books that I really don't like, because it's historical fiction, which I struggle with. There's like so much to keep track of. There's so much world building for me to learn, which usually just really puts me off a book. And then especially in this one, it doesn't like dive into the characters' heads very much. It's almost written as if it's like a textbook. You get the main character, Malangana, sometimes we get to see his emotions, but even then they're still relayed very like, this is how he felt, this is what was happening, which usually are things that I really, really would not get on with in a book. But somehow this is just written very beautifully and I'm really into it. Back in London and it is so hot. London is not good in the summer. Oh my goodness, I'm boiling. Let's finish this book. If I can survive and stop sweating for long enough to read anything. I didn't actually say anything more about this book when I finished it last night because I was too sleepy. But overall I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It's so outside my comfort zone, reading wise. It's so outside anything I've enjoyed before, but I really liked it. I just enjoyed that experience of being in like a very different world and time and place and just learning something so different. Even though I did find it a struggle to read, and it's interesting, like, I don't even know of people that I know offline who we like swap book recommendations all the time. I don't know who I would recommend this one to specifically because I couldn't guarantee that they would have the same experience that I had of finding that it was like easy-ish to step out of my comfort zone with it. I'm definitely going to look up more from this author because I just really liked his writing style. I just really clicked with it and engaged with it. So that was the word false. In conclusion, I don't think this was a great pick for that word. The theme of his name being Little Suns and her disagreeing with him it was like a recurring thing that came up, but I don't think false really fit overall with this book. In fact, true would have been better because it's based on a true part of history. But it's the one that I read. So from there, we're going to Emma's word. She went from false to gone. Still not entirely sure why. So I'm going to read this. Can You See Me Now by Trisha Sakhlecha, which is what a magician would say if he had made someone be gone. It's my phone telling me to take my melatonin. Alright. So this one is a thriller. It flashes between present day, when our main character is a politician in southern India, and then flashes back to her past at this like elite Delhi boarding school. I think it's all girls, and it's like a group of really privileged girls. I don't yet know what the mystery is going to be, but I know that Aliyah, our main character, has secrets from her past, and nobody knows this lie that she's told. I'm reading this one a little slowly. It is using my not... Can you hear this? People like cackling out on the street. I have the window open because it's so hot. This is using my like not favourite thriller format. Used to love it, but it's just too overdone for me now, which is where basically the whole book is just like, we know a secret that you don't know to the reader. Like, these characters know what's going on, and the narrator just keeps dropping hints to the reader that there is a secret and that it will get revealed at some point. And I don't really fall for it anymore in the way that I used to. I can't believe that at the end of this format there could ever be a secret that is actually shocking enough to surprise me. Like, I would much rather either I don't know a twist is coming and then it surprises me out of nowhere, or I actually like stories now where you get to know the dark thing that's going on and it's more about like exploring it getting darker and darker and the characters getting more and more stuck in it, like that kind of thing. This format where it's literally just there is something that these people are hiding and we're not going to tell you what it is until the end, it's not my favourite. So I'm reading this one a little slowly, but that doesn't mean that I'm not like enjoying it and not enjoying getting to know these characters, especially the flashback parts. The parts in present day I'm less interested in at the moment, but the 15 years ago part where the three girls are at a boarding school and it's all about like teenage toxic friendships, like, you know, that's fun to read. It's my vaccine day. I'm so excited even though I hate needles. Like, this actual day is not going to be exciting, it's not going to change my life. I'm still excited even though it's going to be a horrible experience. What happened to that nice summer weather I was so pleased with? My goodness. Such a long queue. I was literally there for like 2 hours total. I queued for 1 hour in the rain outside, which was fine. I read my book, but my book is now absolutely like so soggy. Then I queued for another hour inside. Oh my god, exhausting. But it's done! Okay, so I finished this book. It wasn't for me. It was not for me. These characters did not engage me at all, and as I said, I just didn't really like this format. I'm just not a big fan of thrillers in this format. We were just waiting to find out what the twist was, and I kind of guessed everything. And then there were like some extra little twists at the end which I hadn't explicitly guessed, but they at that point didn't excite me. So yeah, this one just was not for me. Unsurprisingly, because my frenemy Emma from Emma Tobias was the one who picked the word that led me here, and of course she wants to cause me pain. So that was that. 2 out of 5. And now, talking of frenemies who want to cause me pain, the only final book I have left is the one from Leanne's word, which she said she really hoped I would have a bad time with. So that's the final book I'm going to read this weekend, is Pine by Francine Toon. Oh, my arm's starting to hurt. My vaccine arm hurts. I'm going to make some spaghetti. My arm hurts so much suddenly. I'm feeling very sorry for myself. I can't even lift my tea. I can't do it. I'm weak. I just read the description on the back of this book to remind me what it's about. I swear to God, I have never read this description before in my life. And I bought this book. I read it at the time, decided to buy it. It's been living on my trolley for like 9 months at this point. I've looked at it multiple times, and I swear last time I looked at it, it was about a little boy. And now it's about a teenage girl. I've never read this before. What is this book? Who brought it into my house? This is scary. Am I gonna get nightmares? For a relatively slow-moving book, I'm reading this pretty quickly. I read not too long before I fell asleep, but I am still like almost halfway through. Nothing has really happened, but it's mysterious and I like the vibes. Now I'm off to go meet a friend in the park for a walk, so that gives me a whole other train ride to do more reading. Yes! It is infinitely less terrifying reading scary books in the sunshine, which is what I've been doing all day, but now it's time to get into bed and read it in the dark, and it's gonna give me chills again. Good morning. I'm still really enjoying this book, even though still nothing has happened. I'm like 2/3 of the way through now, and the teenager who it says in the blurb is going to go missing has not yet gone missing. And also I couldn't tell you a single thing that actually has happened. We're just like trundling along in the life of this young girl and her rather neglectful father, who are being haunted by a ghost. And like the whole community is being haunted by this ghost. And yeah, I'm just like into the vibes of it. It's creepy, and I hope that it does end up giving me some kind of plot towards the end. Otherwise I think I'll be a little disappointed if it's just vibes, and then ends. Because the ghost we think is of the little girl's mother who's been missing for 10 years, and possibly the father might have killed her. I think some people suspect that. So I hope we get some kind of like solved mystery. But yeah, I'm gently enjoying this one. It is creepy though. It helps reading it in the sunshine. Oh, finished. It's sad. It was good. I liked this one. I'd heard like so many bad things about this book, but sorry to Leanne, she didn't give me a terrible time. I thought this was good. And we're done! I read all 5 of them! So, final thoughts. Hostage by Clare Mackintosh, overall, it had way too much going on. And there were parts of it that were really interesting, but it got really convoluted by all of the extra stuff, and so I just found it like a little bit of a mess, a little bit overdramatic. It was very gripping and page-turning though, and I enjoyed myself while reading it, so I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5, which means that I am also rating Jess as an entire human being 3 out of 5. I'm so sorry, Jess. I think you deserve more than that, but I don't make the rules. I just tell you about them. So Jess is a 3 out of 5 person/book. The Dead Girls, I think, to be honest, I might also give this one 3 out of 5, but it was so nearly a 4. I was really, really enjoying it for a lot of the book, but the final third, as I said in the vlog, it kind of just dipped off a little bit for me. It didn't quite give me what I was looking for at the end. So Tasman, you are what normal people would call a 3.5, but I don't like doing 0.5 ratings, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to demote you to also being a 3 out of 5 human. Wow. Can you see me now? I'm personally going to give this one a 2. I think it's not that I think it's a bad book. Like, when I give my ratings, they are fully subjective to me. That's just the way I like to rate. Some people like to do it objectively. I like to do it for my own records. And this just isn't the kind of thriller format that I really enjoy anymore. But I know loads and loads of people do love this. So if this is the kind of thing you love, great. It's fantastic. It's really fun having a thriller that is set in a different country than where you normally read books, and I haven't read that many books set in India, so that was a really fun experience. But yeah, for me the format of this just didn't work. It didn't engage me, and I didn't like particularly connect with any of the characters. So this one was Emma. So of course we already knew this. Emma is a 2 out of 5 human. That's why we're enemies in such a long-lasting way. But then these two, I gave 4 stars to both of them. So Leanne and Megan, you are both 4 out of 5 humans. I really enjoyed Little Sons in a way that I just did not expect to at all. On paper, it's not my kind of thing, but I was really into it and I really cared about these characters and these events. And Leanne's actually going to be very disappointed to know how much I enjoyed this one, but I really did. This was my favourite of the bunch of them, so I'm going to say that was on purpose. Leanne wanted me to read something awful, and I don't like to give Leanne a good time. This isn't going to be a book that's for everyone. It is very slow. The action really only starts happening like here. Most of the book, I was into it and I liked the vibes, as I said, but there was no plot, nothing had happened at all. And I think if it had finished like that, I would have been a bit frustrated. But actually, I really liked the ending. Suddenly there was a ton of action. There were a lot of things left unresolved, which I know some people don't like. But for me, there was enough stuff resolved to give it like a conclusion that everything could like click into place for me, and then just leave me imagining the answers to the final unresolved pieces of the puzzle. Essentially, you get information about this like terrible thing that has happened, but it just doesn't go into any of the details. It's not a story about that thing. It's a story about the people left behind who don't always get to know the answers. Would I even raise this one to a 5? I'm almost considering giving this one a 5 stars, you know, which means that I'm almost considering giving Leanne a 5 out of 5 rating as a human, which would be wild. Our whole relationship would have to change, you know? So there you go, that was the word associations game. I had a lot of fun doing that, so thank you to Jess for letting me completely steal your idea, start to finish. It was a very good idea. As I said, I will link to their original video below because I really enjoyed it, and having watched that one of their videos, I just went through like their entire back catalogue and I'm waiting for more now. Have any of you guys read Pine, and what did you think? Where did you fall? Which side of the it's terrible, it's amazing debate did you land on? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall chat soon.